Hello, darlings. Jeremy here. Getting to know you, getting to know all about you. And why am I singing this song? Well, let me tell you, it's because when we date or when we enter into a romantic relationship, we should always get to know the person and observe the red flags. Well, I've been really lucky in my life because I've met Mrs. Braithwaite. We've been married for many years. We have a wonderful son who is perhaps the best person that I've ever met in my life. I'm really lucky. And married life, I recommend it, but do it properly. So that's my life. Anyway, when I was a young lad, I met a girl called Maria. Maria, I've just met a girl called Maria. Well, I wished it was like that, but it was more like, how do you solve a problem like Maria? Because she was a problem. And so when we had been dating for 2 weeks, she invited me to her house. And so I arrived at her front door with the customary tin of biscuits, knocked the door. She opened the door. Her parents weren't at home. And she invited me in. And when she invited me in, I was shocked. I was flabbergasted. I was gobsmacked because when I entered, I saw that the place was an absolute tip. There were boxes of junk. There were black plastic bags. There was broken furniture, broken pianos. The place was a complete mess. So I asked the question, have you just moved in? And she replied, no, I've lived here for 5 years. Red flag, red flag. So I took that red flag and put it to one side. After all, I was a young lad and she was a young lady, and I was in pursuit of romance. And she showed me around the house. Then she showed me her bedroom. And on her bed, about 2.5 feet high, was a pile of women's clothing. And I asked her, I said, Maria, why do you have all these clothes on your bed? She said, well, I don't have enough room in my wardrobe, so I put them on my bed. Okay. Where do you sleep? How do you sleep? She says, I sleep in the floor. Red flag, red flag. So I took the red flag, put it to one side for the same reasons as before. I was a young chap, she was a young lass, and I was pursuing something of a romantic nature. And we continued in our relationship. And a few weeks later, I invited her to my mother's house, my mother and father's house, my parents' house. And she wore a red sweater, which was made of wool, and a red skirt, which was also made of wool. It was a suit and an overcoat. So she came into our house and she took off her coat. And my mother, being the ever eagle-eyed woman that she is, she espied something. She espied something that I didn't see, that Maria didn't see, and that my father didn't see. She espied something hanging from the back of Maria's sweater. Now, my mother broke into raucous laughter. She laughed and she laughed and she laughed and she laughed because she had espied a brassiere hanging from the back of Maria's sweater. What had happened was this. Maria had stored all her clothes on top of her bed, and the sweater that she was wearing had been piled on top of a bra. And that bra had inveigled its way the hook of the bra had inveigled its way into the back of a sweater. So my mother started shouting, "Oh, Michael, Michael, look at this." And my father, behind his newspaper, dropped his newspaper for a while, looked over and grunted, and returned his newspaper to the normal position. I was horrified. Maria was horrified. My mother was having the time of her life. So Maria tried to grab the bra from the back of her sweater, but she couldn't reach. And she said, "Jeremy, could you help me, please?" And I had to unhook this bra from the back of Maria's sweater, to the constant laughter of my mother. And Maria's face had turned this same color as her sweater. She was most embarrassed. And that was the red flag that really ended it, really. So when you are in a relationship, please look out for the red flags. Don't discount them. Don't put up with them. Run away. And that's exactly what I had to do. Thank you for listening. Please give me a little like, or if you want, subscribe and bing, ring the bell. Thank you.